and gentlemen, and thank you for your patience. And now, I'd like to introduce 1015's own Dennis Malloy from the Dennis and Michelle Show.
Thank you, and thank you for coming today. There's something in all of us that brings us out here in this horrible weather and this day. Those of us who are about my age, people who are younger, I just talked to a guy, 22 years old, has 2 kids, works 12 hours a day, makes $20,000 a year, works 7 days a week to feed his young family. What kind of hope do people like that have if we have a government that keeps confiscating more of our income and taking away our freedoms and our rights? And this isn't about, you're right, and this is not about a political party. It's not about Democrat or Republican. It's not about state worker or private worker. This is about Americans' individual freedoms and rights. To have the opportunity to be in this country, raise a family, earn money, and live the life we want to live. My grandparents came here 100 years ago because of freedom and opportunity, and they were starving where they came from. And people come here today from countries all around the world because of the opportunity we have. And now many of them are going home. They can't believe what's happened to this country. They can't believe the opportunity and the freedom that they read about and longed for and dreamed for is slipping away because of a more powerful and more taxing government than they could ever possibly imagine that they had at home. And it's up to each and every one of us here, the 300, 400 that might be here, the 200, however many it is. And for the most part, the mainstream media won't cover this tonight. They think you're all a bunch of right-wing nut jobs. I can't believe what's happened in this country, that we've let this government get so powerful and so big that they confiscate our income without notification every week. And now, and then taking away freedoms and liberties and rights, and now growing the budget deficit as big as they have. We'll be indebted to them for the rest of our lives, our children's lives, our grandchildren's lives. Unless we stand up now and say, no more. There used to be a ruling class when we had a king. We got rid of the king 200 and some years ago to stand for ourselves, and we put representative citizens in Congress and in the Senate to represent us. But now they're the ruling class. Unless you're a millionaire, can you run for governor in this state? Or assembly or senate? Do you know how much it costs to buy a seat in this state? Millions. So it's up to each and every one of you to convince your neighbors and friends who aren't here today that if you're pissed off about your taxes, if you're pissed off about your loss of freedom, go to the poll and vote! Enough is enough, and it's not about a party or a president or a candidate. It's about freedom and liberty that you are losing, and you're losing for your parents, your children, and your grandchildren. We want representative government, we want streamlined, efficient government, and we want fair and honest representation. And I don't care if it's a D at the end of their name or an R at the end of their name or a libertarian or an independent. We need people who represent us.